how they do. So if you could, please give me a 5x5 if you hear me, and we will roll forward with this information that I have this morning. I'm going to need everybody to get involved this morning. It's going to take about 4 minutes of your time today. But what I'm about to tell you shouldn't be a surprise, but is something we need to stop. And what I'm talking about is the anti-gun senators led by Chuck Schumer are looking to do a vote, actually not a full vote this morning, but they're going to try to pass a bump stock ban by a simple majority. What they're looking to do is dangerous. It's a way around a full vote. It's a way around the full debate. It's a way to pass something immediately because a majority of the people who would be present would look to pass this. I'm going to tell you two things that we should be focused on today. The first thing is we need to call our senators and tell them to vote no on this. It's going to happen today. So I need you to call 202-224-3121. Again, if you want to write it down, 202-224-3121. That's the switchboard to the U.S. Capitol. We've talked about this many times. You're going to get a great woman who's always nice when I call. Say, I need to talk to my senator. I live in wherever. You tell them your state. You only got two. You should know who they are. If you don't, she'll get you to the right offices. So you're going to make 2 phone calls, 1 to each senator. You're going to say, vote no on Chuck Schumer's attempt to ban bump stocks after the Supreme Court ruling on Friday. I'm going to tell you why they're trying to do this, which is something that we learned. We've been paying attention for a while. We know this already, but we learned this in the Bruin decision. The anti-gunners look for a word or two or a phrase in which they can attack and which they can exploit. And what are they doing here in the bump stock ban? I'm going to read you what Justice Alito said in his concurring opinion. Remember, we went over what Clarence Thomas initially wrote, but Justice Alito wrote something because the way that the bump stock ban was overturned on Friday was just the challenge. The challenge was challenging the APA. Did the ATF overextend their authority in the APA by looking to do this? And yes, Justice Thomas said yes, it is not right what they did. They overstepped their authority, and he also did an explanation, which is good because we're going to need it, where he said a bump stock doesn't turn a gun into a full auto because it's not a single function of the trigger, it has to be reset. We know this stuff. So this, and remember this, another thing I want you to do is there's going to be 2 things. The first thing is this make your phone call, 2 of them. It'll take 5 minutes of your life to your senators. Tell them to vote no on Schumer's bump stock ban. This is what Alito wrote in his opinion that has the anti-gunners. There are some Republicans who are in favor of this. I want to say that right out. John Cornyn and his cronies were in favor of this when Trump was initiating the ban. If you remember, they had a bill that was making its way through the chambers as fast as it possibly could, but they stopped short when the APA rulemaking took place. They figured we don't have to do anything. So they do have Republican support. That's the scary part, which is why you need to make those calls now. This is what Alito wrote, just part of it, which if you hear it, you'll understand where they think they have their angle. He said that when he was talking about the lifting the ban that Justice Thomas wrote in the ruling or the majority, Alito said, because there is simply no other way to read the statutory language, which is why the ban should be overturned, right? Because there's no other way to read the statutory language. However, he did acknowledge that Congress passed the machine gun ban in 1934, and that he didn't see any material difference between a machine gun and a semi-automatic rifle equipped with a bump stock. That was his opinion, but now the Democrats are saying, well, there you go, Alito just said we can ban them, so they're scrambling today. Alito also said this in his concurrence, and you can read it, it's right on the Supreme Court's website. He said, the horrible shooting spree in Las Vegas in 2017 did not change the statutory text or its meaning. That event demonstrated that a semi-automatic rifle with a bump stock can have the same lethal effect as a machine gun, and it thus strengthened the case for amending Section 5845B. That's the ban on machine guns. But an event that highlights the need to amend a law does not itself change the law's meaning. There is a simple remedy for that desperate treatment of bump stocks and machine guns. Congress can amend the law, and perhaps would have done so already if ATF had stuck with its earlier interpretation. Now that the situation is clear, Congress can act. So what he said, and it's already being twisted, and the way he said it, I understand the twisting. He's like, hey, Congress makes law. ATF does not make law. Now, they can't address whether or not a law passed to ban bump stocks would be constitutional or not, because there isn't one. That's just like them saying, well, in 20 years, if they look to ban Glocks, that would be unconstitutional. You can't preemptively strike. That's the pre-crime stuff that we hate the Democrats for. So if Congress were to act and pass the law to ban these, then it would take, what, 6 more years like it took to overcome the ban, because it would have to make its way through the courts and then go to the Supreme Court on the challenge of constitutionality, which is why we need to stop it now before it's even made into a law. 202-224-3121. I want to thank the sponsor of the video, CMMG. They're phenomenal people here in Boonsville. They make great American stuff, American people working, making American products. They run, like Johnny says, a scalded dog. They're American made. You can save a lot with code GNG10. Thanks to CMMG for being phenomenal. Fired up, so sorry. Gonna keep rolling. All right, so that's the first thing. Make those phone calls. Talk to both offices, the senator offices for both of your, talk to the people in the office of both of your senators. There you go. Now, the second part is, if you're pissed off that Chuck Schumer and the anti-gunners are doing this stuff, you should be pissed off. How do we stop them? Well, there's a lot of ways, and they're not all going to happen immediately. They're incremental. I am challenging, again, all of the gun owners, the almost 10 million of us that aren't registered to vote. Even if you don't want to vote for a single office, insert that office here. Say, I'll never vote for my, my town selectman. There's a whole bunch of other votes that need to happen, and when we don't register to vote and we ignore our civic duty, the injection of not just the anti-gunners, but the anti-Americans take place. So vote for, the number 4, voteforamerica.org. I'll put it in the description below. If you're sick and tired of what's been happening, 10 million gun owners need to get their heads out of their asses and vote for freedom. Voteforamerica.org. Register, but not just register, vote. And when it comes to the vote, take someone who didn't vote last year. That's an easy way to win. Also, you need to help your gun channels. You need to help them, because today is, I'm just going to text, hey Curtis, what's up? Today is the start of the new terms of service for gun channels and Second Amendment stuff. So you might not see all of the channels you love in your feed regularly. There are a lot of things that YouTube is changing today. So support your channels that you love to get information from. Like the videos, takes a second. Share the videos to you, whatever you watch. Subscribe, double check your subscription to all of these channels. In order for us, the community, to keep reaching you, we need your help. So please, double check your channels, double check your subscriptions, like videos, share and comment. The little things go a long way. Turn those bell notifications on as well. But there are a lot of things that YouTube's putting the pressure on us for, and we can get through with you, with your help. And if you don't like that, then hit YouTube on Twitter or whatever social media platform you use. Team YouTube is usually the handle on all of them, and let them know, all right? So I added a third thing in there. The first one, to recap, Chuck Schumer, they're going to try to do a unanimous consent this morning on a bump stock ban. You don't want them to do it? 202-224-3121. Talk to your senators. Tell them to vote no. Let them know you're watching, because they have Republican support. Number 2, if you're sick and tired of these clowns doing what they do, help stop them. Voteforamerica.org. Register to vote and get your ass out to vote. If you're one of the 10 million gun owners, who don't vote to stop the people who are trying to take the guns, you're part of the problem. And the third one is YouTube is starting to crack down today on all of the gun channels. They need your help, all right? And I'm asking you to help all of my brethren, all of my brothers and sisters who put out content and work hard to get you information, to get you entertainment, to help them succeed. So I love each and every single one of you. Drink some Blackout coffee. I've already had a cup. I'm fired up and wired up. Check out CMMG. Use code GNG10 and save a ton. Get after them, folks. Let them know you're watching. Put the pressure on them. God bless you. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, y'all.